Welcome to the Speak Your Piece podcast. My name is Ian McNaughton, Big E here. Joining me today is SYP creator Scott. Scott, how are you?
Doing well. We're in the middle of finals, but I got a break now, so let's pod. Let's run this shit. Let's get this.
Let's get this dub. Let's get this victory royale here. To sound more like a nerd. Fun fact, actually, I actually said that to a group of girls when I was at SFU, where they were all they're all friends of mine, and they were all sitting at one of the tables, and I approached, they saw me and they said hi, and I walked over and I was like, "So where are we dropping today, boys? Let's get this victory royale." And I was never more shunned in my life.
Do these girls follow the brand?
One of them did. Although one of them in September 2019 invited me to one of their back to school parties, which is something we can't do now during these COVID times. And I wasn't able to go because I was in Victoria covering the Man Cup. So that was a lost cause.
Priorities. Anyways, let's get on with the pod.
We're gonna do this. This is Tuesday, December 8th, I believe it is today. Whatever the fuck day it is today. We got some NHL news. We got some hockey news. I know. And it's not the Philip Myers signing with Philadelphia.
Overpaid? Question mark?
Pardon? Overpaid?
No, he's underpaid. He's a good player, man.
Imagine overpaying somebody in this economy.
Him and Chabot were OP in the World Juniors a couple years ago.
That's fair. That is fair. The NHL, apparently we are headed for a January 13th start. This is all alleged. Nothing is confirmed. Just reporting what we've heard. January 13th. There's projected to be 56 games in this regular season.
It's good. Better than nothing.
There is a Board of Governors meeting tomorrow, which is Wednesday, December 9th, and we'll see if there's any news coming your way. Among that, I'm excited for the January 13th start. I didn't think the Jan 1st start was any more realistic now than it had been maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
56 games is a weird number.
It's all I'll have time for. Because, again, you have to remember this year they have the Olympics to compete with. Because those games will run in summer of 2021. And those, like, NHL, NBA even, too, has to be done by mid-July.
Realistically. Yeah, especially with the NHL, because they got NBC does the Olympics for the U.S. TV rights, and the NHL is with NBC with the U.S. TV rights. So the NHL is like, well, we can't be competing with the Olympics on NBC, right? Because, I mean, we all know the NHL is going to get bumped for, men's water polo between Serbia and Denmark, right?
Well, of course. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, of course.
Another an interesting note. So Calgary, Edmonton, and Vancouver, they all have AHL teams that are in the States. Apparently they are going to stay in the U.S. if they do play their season, those AHL teams. Those teams are going to be staying in the U.S., which is kind of interesting in terms of travel and replacing players.
I think more the concern is the Canadian AHL teams, because, again, there's 3 or 4 AHL teams that are based in Canada.
4, I think.
There's 4, yeah. I think it's Toronto's, Ottawa's,
Winnipeg's,
and
Montreal's.
That's right.
Montreal's is in Laval, I believe.
Yeah. Toronto is obviously Toronto. Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Ottawa, I think it's in Belleville, I think now. I could be wrong.
They're now Belleville, yeah. They used to be in Binghamton, which is in New York.
Yes.
New York, yeah. So, but now they're up in Ottawa or Belleville area as well.
Look at us showing off our AHL knowledge. So that'll be interesting to see as well with how the American teams work with the Canadian team. I mean, I don't even like the American situation to begin with in Utica. That's a pain in the ass anyways, I would think, if you're a AHL player having to come to Vancouver in normal times.
It's a long trip, bro.
It's a long
5-hour flight just to play an NHL game.
Yeah.
Or a 5-hour flight eastbound going to the AHL.
So
literally demotion.
So we're kind of doing a baseball thing here, where we're doing a quick season, a 56-game season here for the NHL. who do you think benefits out of this the most? Do you think there's a team that can be like the Toronto Blue Jays this year, and I don't know if we're gonna have expanded playoffs, but at least sneak into the postseason on a quick season? Is there a team that you like to do that?
I hate to say Anaheim, but I think Vancouver's gonna.
You can say Anaheim.
So this year's gonna be this is gonna be a very unique year for a lot of reasons. Again, if assuming this again, fans, this is all assuming that this season is actually going on, 56 game season. I think Tampa's gonna win the cup again, based on the short season. Like if it was a full 82, I'd maybe say differently. But because of the short season, it's gonna be a sprint to the finish. They're them and Dallas are the most recent teams to play. Teams like Anaheim, teams like New Jersey, Buffalo, these guys haven't played for almost a whole year, a competitive game in almost a whole year. So when you think about that, it's kind of like, well, these teams that have been playing a lot, great. Like, you have a little bit more of an advantage. However, having said that, young teams will have an advantage as well because some of the young guys are going to play junior that are in ongoing junior leagues. They're going to come up and they're going to be fresh.
See, I wonder with coming into this upcoming season where you have like the Joe Thorntons and the Ryan Getzlaffs of the world who have never. I mean, Thornton's playing over in Switzerland, so it's not like he's getting time off right now. Like he's still technically playing, but I mean, like they never like Joe Thornton never had an extended off season like that before. Getzlaff has never had an extended off season like that before. And I take it Getzlaff is going to have a bigger role with his team than Thornton will, but it is going to be intriguing to see how those kind of players get ready and recover for this upcoming season.
There's always two ways to look at things, and I think for those players in particular, they've been training all season. It's not like they're just sitting around doing nothing for 8 months. Like they're older guys. They have like big ass mansions. They have like full fitness facilities in cases like this, and I guarantee you, at least one of them's got some sort of like artificial ice that they can like skate on and shoot pucks and like stay like sort of like hockey shape. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, but definitely a different situation this year compared to everything else.
I think this year is a really important year to have goaltending because, like, at least if you have one thing, at least you have goaltending. Luckily, Anaheim has goaltending with John Gibson. I don't know who your backup's going to be again this year. If it's Ryan Murray or not Ryan Murray, Ryan Miller.
Miller's gone.
Okay.
I think I'll have to look at it. Let me check into that right now.
So I'll kill time here. So because my Detroit Red Wings have improved slightly over the offseason, I think there's a world for my Red Wings where we could probably win anywhere from about 20 to 25 games. Yeah. I think just because we have at least not a good, but at least a respectable tandem with Thomas Greiss, Jonathan Bernier. Our defense has improved. We got Troy Stecher. Danny DeKeyser's back. I don't know how great he's going to be, 31, coming off injury. And our forward group is slightly improved. So Detroit, I can see Detroit, like Detroit's a real dark horse, like outside shot of making the playoffs.
You mentioned Stecher as well. He's a good piece.
Stecher's a nice add as a top four. You don't want to probably playing top D pair minutes, but if he's on your
second pair, yeah, he's a solid second pair defenseman.
If you got him on a second pair with say like Mark Stahl, I'd be happy.
Yeah, perfect. I was gonna say backup goalie for the Ducks is Anthony Stolarz, former Flyers goalie.
Okay.
But my guess is Ole Eriksson Ek, the goalie from Sweden, their prospect. He's probably on his way up quick, along with Zegras and Drysdale.
See, the thing with the Red Wings that's going to be really interesting, I think we'll see Seider and Lucas Raymond at some point this year. I think both of those guys will make appearances regardless of how good the team is, just because they've been playing hockey this whole time too. I don't know if you've seen highlights of Seider just banging bodies in the Z zone.
Yeah, he's insane.
So, I mean, I'm not going to make the call that Detroit's a playoff team. I'm not going to make the call that Anaheim's a playoff team. Yeah. But there is a world where one of these young teams can just go on a run here and be a surprise playoff contender.
And that's the kind of team that's going to be the story of this year. It's going to be a young and up and coming kind of young gun type of team that no one expects to make the playoffs, and they just come out of nowhere. So maybe Buffalo. Maybe this is Buffalo's year to make the playoffs.
Are you gonna be like SYP creator Keith, and you're just like, instead of Columbus, you're gonna be the Buffalo guy? You're gonna be like, don't sleep on Buffalo. Buffalo is the
No. No.
I love Jack Eichel, and I love seeing the Eichel versus Matthews debate, if it's even a debate. I actually, one team that I am really interested in. You mentioned Vancouver. They had a weird off season with the loss of Markstrom, but the addition of Holtby, and the loss of Toffoli, and the loss of Stetcher.
And Tanev.
And Tanev. But they picked up Nate Schmidt. So Vancouver could possibly win this division this year.
That's what I'm thinking. I'd say their biggest competition is Las Vegas. It's going to be a 2-horse race, and Vancouver and Vegas are right at the top of that.
Well, I'm really excited just to see the All-Canadian division, how that's going to go.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be different now. Yeah, totally.
I mean, you have Calgary and Edmonton. Calgary confuses me. Montreal should be good. Ottawa's going to be shit. I don't know about Winnipeg.
This Canadian division is looking really good.
It's gonna be really fun to. I miss like Saturday night hockey night in Canada, because I could use a Toronto Montreal Battle of Alberta doubleheader with some beer and the bros. That would make life great.
Yeah, that was February 1st last year. Remember that?
That was Battle of Alberta. Who was the early game? Was that Toronto and Ottawa?
Toronto and Boston. Yeah, it was Ottawa. It was definitely an all-Canadian matchup. What a great weekend that was.
That was. Any other thoughts on the NHL possibly getting back? We might get that happening. Any other thoughts on teams? What we might see coming up in the upcoming season? Who do you think is going to be the first to test positive for COVID, or are we going to know that?
The first team or the first player?
Both. How about both? Who?
Okay, it's going to be a team in Florida.
Oh, I was going to say definitely the Panthers.
Watch it be Alex Killorn, Tampa Bay.
Ooh, you're calling your shot right now.
Right now. Just watch. It's either going to be a team in Florida or a team in fucking, what's it called? Might be Dallas too.
I'm gonna go my dark horse pick. I'm gonna say team. The first major outbreak will be the Panthers, and I'm gonna say my player dark horse Drew Doughty in the LA Kings.
Interesting. I mean, again, that's up in the air too. Like, we can spit out all these teams and names, but there's a real possibility that there's 0 cases on any team, even like upper staff. Like, could be 0.
I wish they went back to bubbles and hubs.
It's not sustainable. Like, you can't expect a player with like a wife and 2 kids to leave for like 6 months and not see their kid. Like, it's not happening.
If the NHL actually really cared about their players, they would do what the NBA did and make the school, like, get the online school going for the kids. I mean, I don't know about the rest of here in BC, kids can go to school without wearing masks. And
they should wear masks, but anyways, okay.
No, they should. That's another rant for myself.
It's a whole other topic.
But there. I mean, why not? If the NHL actually cared about its players, which they don't, the NHL would be like, sure, we'll accommodate your health and safety. We're gonna, bring your family. We're gonna play in hubs and bubbles. We're gonna bring your family. We're gonna, create a nice little online school for little Charlie, and we're gonna, make this a good experience for you. Instead, little Charlie's dad is gonna be flying cross country during a pandemic, and he gets to spend 3 nights in Fort Lauderdale. How does that sound?
Pretty lovely. I mean, hey, Fort Lauderdale's kind of nice in December when you're from Winnipeg. Just saying. You got to admit that's true.
The worst part about the Panthers is that they are in the exact same situation as the Coyotes, where their arena is in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, and they just expect people to go out to their games. It's like, why can't we get more than 10,000 people to come to our games? It's like, because you're 45 minutes away from downtown, assholes. That's why you can't get more than 10,000 people to come out to your games.
What are your thoughts on Climate Pledge Arena?
That's actually a really good conversation. So, if you don't know, Climate Pledge Arena is the new Key Arena in Seattle. Which, fun fact, they were still calling it Key Arena long after Key had their sponsorship deal with the arena.
Okay.
So like in 2007, whenever the Sonics left, that was essentially when the Key sponsorship deal with the arena expired. And then for like 10 years after that, people are still calling it Key Arena. That was cool. So Climate Pledge Arena is now the new Key Arena, and Climate Pledge Arena is in partnership with Amazon, and they're working together to create a zero carbon.
Yeah, zero net carbon emission arena, which will be the first of its kind in the NHL, I believe.
I want to say even North America, but I could be wrong.
Probably not.
It's a really cool idea. I was at the arena about a year ago because I was covering the Seattle Dragons XFL training camp, and because where they were practicing was walking distance from the arena, and they were still working on it. And I mean, it looked like it was 2 years away from being done. And they kept the iconic roof. We didn't know what the name of the team was going to be, but it was busy, and I don't like the location of the arena. I don't like the location of where they're going to play just because it's a pain to get in and out of that area in Seattle, if you're familiar. But I like the idea of Climate Pledge Arena. I love the idea that Amazon wants to get involved. I love the idea of trying to create a green, positive environment.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt in my mind that the Seattle Kraken team will be successful just because they're following all of the, like, they're, worried about the environment. They're worried about racism. They're, making sure that they have a diverse staff of people within their organization. Like, if
They're
you
following the Vegas footprint really well, which is going to be really cool to see.
the Kraken are checking off all the boxes, and I am all for it. All about the Kraken success.
That'll be good. Very good team. I'm excited to see how they turn out as well.
They got a really interesting next 10 months here, considering that they have the presumably the expansion draft in June, July, and then they have to field a fucking team in September.
Well, it's been done before. We saw it a few years ago, so.
In the middle of a pandemic, that's going to be even cooler to see how that goes. We have any thoughts on the arena or the Climate Pledge or just the Kraken? How well they're doing?
Well, you said it wasn't in a good location, but isn't it near the Space Needle? It's pretty close, isn't it?
It is. It's all within walking distance. The issue with that is just the accessibility in and out of that area. Like that.
Putting that rink plus what's T-Mobile Park and then CenturyLink, all three of those in that same spot. Imagine a hockey game on a Sunday. How busy that would be? It'd be nuts.
Well, they don't usually schedule events in that area on the same day. Like
I know.
I'm just saying, you never have seen a Mariners game and a Seahawks game on the same day just because they share parking facilities.
I've seen one.
Okay, you've seen one.
Yeah.
Or like the Sounders and the Mariners, you hardly ever, unless it's like the Sounders are playing at 8:00 at night and the Mariners are playing at 1:00 in the afternoon. Sure. Here's the thing. There's a lot of, it's a beautiful neighborhood. If you go to where like Climate Pledge Arena is, it's a beautiful neighborhood. Like the Bill Gates and Melinda Gates have their whole foundation kind of headquarters in that area as well. It's in the Queen Anne neighborhood. It's a beautiful, gorgeous neighborhood. The issue with it is just it's not easy to get in and out of.
Right.
It's just a pain in the ass if you want to get in and out of that area.
If you're driving, though.
Pardon?
As if you're driving your vehicle.
Well, that's the only way. You don't like the only. They might still be working on trying to get public transit there, but right now the only there's buses, and the bus system is not as good as it is here in Vancouver, at least down there. And the only rail system that they have is the monorail that was there fucking 30, 40 years ago.
They'll probably improve that. They'll make improvements for that.
You would hope so. The interesting thing too is that the Kraken are building. I don't know how well you know the Seattle area, but they're building a practice facility at Northgate, which is before downtown Seattle, which is where the big shopping mall is, and they're building a sound transit station there as well. So I think that was in the price range for about $90 million for that practice facility.
Wow. And that's on the north side of downtown Seattle. So it's before you cross the bridge, kind of thing.
Like before you cross the bridge.
Kind of near UW.
Kind of near you, even before UW. If you're going, it's like near Mount Lake Terrace, kind of.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like in that area, nearby, not quite, but nearby. You go through the Northgate shopping mall, and there's a whole bunch of shops there, and they're building a new. Last time I was down there, in that area specifically, was about a year ago, and they were building sound transit down there as well. Again, I love the city. I just don't love that area specifically where they're putting the arena. I would rather them build a new arena where they have all the other stadiums, or if they put an arena in Bellevue where all the real major businesses are. That's cool too. But that's just me nitpicking.
Anyways,
I want to talk about some World Juniors with you for a little bit. We haven't got a World Juniors preview on now. We're probably going to do that, I would say, in a few weeks because we got the World Juniors starting on Christmas.
Once we have the set rosters and everything, we'll just give you a little update right now, I think. Once we have the set rosters, we'll give you a full preview of our picks to win and players to look out for, that kind of thing.
So today, 5 Canadian players were essentially cut and sent home. Those players were Matthew Robertson, Mason Millman, Damon Hunt, Ridley Greig, Xavier Simoneau. Those were 5 players who were experiencing COVID symptoms, and they just didn't recover after the 2 weeks.
We don't necessarily know that. They just said they're unfit to play, which could mean a lot of things. It could be a bunch of things. We assume at least 2 of them were positive for COVID. Just that's what the original announcement was, that 2 players tested positive. That's why the Canadian team went into quarantine for 2 weeks. So, yeah.
That is true. I just assume it's COVID, but again, with unfit to play, they're really leaving it up in the air. So it's kind of,
it's kind of like saying an undisclosed injury. You don't know.
Yeah. Don't know. Or lower and upper body injury. Well, that could be any fucking thing. Other notable names: Sweden's head coach Thomas Monton got tested positive for COVID.
2 guys, Reichel, and there's another guy too.
William Wallinder, who I believe is a Detroit prospect. Both Reichel and Wallinder are unable to perform. They will not be playing in the tournament. I believe, I could be wrong.
It's a big loss for Germany.
It's really a big loss for Germany, and it's really too bad because they looked like they were in a good spot to compete.
I think they still will, especially if Stützle and Seider are both there. I think they're going to be kind of a scary team. Kind of I think they're kind of taking on the role of the Swiss. How they used to be kind of like a kind of dark horse, quiet team. You don't really talk about them much, but they're actually kind of good. I think that'll be kind of Germany's spot now at this point.
Well, it's interesting to say. I don't know if I follow NHL Prospect Center on Instagram, which they talk just all hockey prospects, doesn't matter the sport or anything. And they're starting their World Juniors previews now. Mm-hmm. And I think it was yesterday they said that the worst team in the tournament is Switzerland.
Really?
Which I thought was interesting because Switzerland has always been feels like the 5th, 6th, 7th team, that team that's probably not going to win it all, but it's going to steal a game or 2 from you and cause a few headaches.
Well, I thought, isn't Austria in the tournament this year? I thought they were the worst team. That would make sense.
I figured they'd be the worst, but I mean, maybe they're higher on Marco Rossi than the rest of us are. I don't know. So those are kind of some names that are missing from this year's World Juniors tournament. That'll start December. It is starting Christmas
Day. Yep. There's 3 games Christmas Day.
Okay, Christmas Day. So we'll have a preview coming out. for that one as well. I did want to discuss a little bit of some DEL with you. We're giving you an update on our German hockey team.
Sure.
I don't know if you have been paying attention as well as I have.
Well, I know my boys got beat by your Red Bull München, so I'm a little upset, but that's okay.
So now we are in the Magenta Sport Cup semis. That'll be happening, I think, either Thursday, Friday.
This week, yeah.
This week. They're happening this week. My Red Bull München,
yeah.
They'll be playing Dusseldorf,
yeah.
Dusseldorf on Friday.
Yeah.
And if they win, they get to go to the finals for the Magenta Sport Cup on Sunday.
Who's in the other semi?
I believe it's your Mannheim Eagle.
Yeah, Alder Mannheim.
Alder Mannheim, excuse me. Against, I believe it's the Wild Wings, possibly the Schwinginger. You have to take a look and see. But anyways, leading scorers, Philip Kajula, he's got 7 points for Red Bull. Frank Maurer, he's got 5 points. Kevin Wright, he's got an under 2 GAA and a 919 save percentage. What I've realized about these German Hockey League games is that there's even more parity than in the NHL, where they're all 1-goal games.
They're all close games, yeah.
They're all fucking close.
This other semi is my Mannheim Eagles and Bremerhaven Penguins.
Oh, Bremerhaven, okay.
Bremerhaven, yeah.
So they should be able to take them on. I want to be able to be betting on German hockey coming up here because I really love Red Bull's chances. I love our team. We got good goaltending. We got good defense. I'm surprised that there isn't more scoring in those. I guess they're just really good, sound defensive teams, but I'm surprised there isn't more scoring.
I think part of it's also lack of skill. If I'm being fully honest,
that's fair. That's fair.
Again, it's a lot of the guys in those leagues, like they're all they're all ex-pro players, or they're still pro, but they're NHL, ex-WHL, so they're good. But again, they're not. If they were that skilled, they wouldn't be there. They'd be in the KHL. They'd be in the Swedish Elite League. They'd be in like other leagues higher than the Dell. And the Dell's great. It's a good league, but it's not to the level other things are.
I had a bit of a flashback moment when I was doing my research for this, when I saw Chet Pickard as one of the starting goaltenders for one of the teams, and it's just like, God, that brings me back to my old WHL days of watching Chet and Calvin Pickard playing against my Everett Silvertips.
Weren't they in Tri-City?
No. I want to say one of them was in Seattle and the other one was in Tri-City.
Okay, yeah. I seem to remember one of them was in Tri-Cities for sure.
I remember the days of Carey Price when he was playing for Tri-City. That's how old I am.
Tri-City is goalie factory, not gonna lie. Goalies come out of there.
They had another goalie recently that was actually fairly good. But yeah, that's how old I am. I can remember Chet Pickard, Calvin Pickard, Carey Price, Dustin Tokarski.
Tokarski, yeah. Those are like World Junior goalies. Pickard, Tokarski, and Price were all World Junior goalies for Team Canada.
They were doing, I think, the World Juniors preview today on TSN, or their countdown show to it. When was the last time Canada had a good World Juniors goalie? Was it Carey Price?
No, not that long ago. Carter Hart.
Carter Hart. I forgot about Carter Hart. I don't know how I forgot about Carter Hart.
No, Carter Hart won 2018. Yeah.
Yeah, so Carter Hart. So yeah, Carter Hart was the last good Canadian goaltender because I remember for a while there, there was the long the Zachary Fucalis and the Malcolm Subbans, Scott Wedgwoods.
Yeah, Fucali was pretty good.
He was all right. I think he managed to be a second-round pick for Montreal at one point.
Yeah, he did. But the thing with Fucali is he had a better team, a really good team in front of him. That was a big part of it.
He was with Halifax, wasn't he?
Fucali? Yeah, I think. No, I'm referring more like in the World Juniors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, he was in Halifax, which he had McKinnon and Drouin in his early, that was his early part of his career.
So I was thinking about that today. It's like Carter Hart was the one guy
Carter Hart, yeah. I think before that, it would have been, Price was good. Manny Legacy Like that's the one I like that.
Oh,
I wasn't alive, but I remember hearing that he was like one of the best Canadian goalies of all time.
Well, I was gonna say because Carey Price was a starter for Team Canada at one point with
Same team. Yeah.
Well, with Leland Irvin behind him, Everett Silvertip starter.
Wow.
And they had some really good battles in the dub, but yeah, I don't know who the Team Canada goalie this year is supposed to be. The TSN, I think it was
up in the air.
Yeah.
They have no.
So we'll figure that out. The USA goaltending though is OP. With fucking Spencer Knight and Dustin Wolf.
Yeah, I don't think Wolfie's getting the starting job, unfortunately. But
he's not. No, it's Spencer Knight's job. Spencer Knight, if you haven't been paying, I believe he's playing for not for Harvard. I want to say Northeastern. He's been playing, no, Boston. Anyway, he's been playing for one of those Northeastern schools, and he's just been absolutely fucking killing it. For one of the Northeastern schools. So we'll have a preview on that coming up. Any other final words here coming up on the end of the podcast here? Do you have any hot takes? Any hot takes you want to dish out here before we go, Scott?
I'm gonna just spit a little thing.
Sure.
So there's a lot of years. Every year, I mean, this is what Ian, you probably do for Detroit. Every year I watch my Ducks prospects, and I see like, okay, who's coming up, who's in the World Juniors, who's actually good. This is the year to watch them, because you got Zegarowski's gonna be number one center for the United States. Drysdale's gonna be top pairing defenseman for Canadian team, and those are our two top prospects by like a long shot. So watch out for those guys. Hot take for you. Wow.
Before you give your hot take, I just want to say I was checking back over the U.S. roster, and then I like looked back and I saw like N. Robertson. I'm like, is Nick Robertson on this fucking team? And I had to search it up and check. It's like Nick Robertson's American, and he's gonna be on this U.S. team at the World Juniors. It's like,
Jack Hughes was about to be on that team too. But New Jersey, Jack Hughes was about to be on that team too.
I mean, Cole Caulfield, I think it's going to be on that.
Yeah, he'll be there. Yep.
Like
Alex Turcotte.
Oh man.
Your defense sucks, but you have a nasty.
Our defense is actually going to be pretty decent. Look out for it.
But anyways, okay.
Okay. Maybe that's your hot take, is that our defense sucks.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that the Seattle Sounders will win the MLS Cup Saturday night against the Columbus Crew in Columbus. They scored 3 goals in 15 minutes last night to beat the Minnesota United, the Loons or whatever the fuck they're called, and at the Clink, and Seattle won. They're going back to the MLS Cup, and they are going to win Saturday night in Columbus.
Well, I guess we know what you're doing Saturday night.
I am definitely going to be watching that Saturday night. You know, I realize as much as I love the Sounders, I really just watch them a couple times a year just because I'm not a big soccer guy, but I'll watch the Sounders. And the MLS is worse than the NBA in terms of players just begging for calls.
Well, I mean, are you surprised?
A little bit. Like not everything needs to be argued, guys. Like, you don't have to be upset with the ref when you kick the ball out and it's the other team's possession.
So soccer is really hard. There's 4 officials, but only one ref calls fouls, and that's the thing that's really difficult. It's a massive field to cover. You're bound to miss things, and you're bound. It's a battle between players and referees the whole game, and I feel bad for soccer refs. It's like you have a thankless job.
I feel like as soccer ref, you're either calling everything or you're calling nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
Like, you're either calling every fucking dive or you're calling none of the dives. And then the one time somebody actually gets somewhat hurt from a slide tackle and he's down on the ground, it's like, sorry, I can't call that. I didn't call it earlier.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I'd rather be a hockey ref than a soccer ref. At least you have two of you there.
So I'm gonna go with the Sounders. They're gonna beat Columbus on Saturday. That's my hot take. I don't even know if I don't think they're favored. I think Columbus is favored because Columbus is ranked higher or whatever. So go Sounders.
We'll see what happens. Saturday selections, it'll be there.
It'll be there on Saturday. Thank you for listening, everybody. That's the end of the pod. Go like and subscribe. We're on YouTube now. I'm doing YouTube videos. I learned how to do stuff in Premiere, which is actually really cool. Who'd have thunk that I'd actually, be productive? So go follow us on the brand.
I don't even saw yourself that you'd be productive like this, but
I just amaze myself every day with what I learn and what I say and what I accomplish.
Keep doing that, bro. Just keep doing that.
Just keep grinding. Go like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Go follow us on social media. Any final words, Scott?
Canada's winning the World Juniors. I don't know. Especially with that big 6'4" center in the middle on their first line, he's gonna be literally unstoppable.
Okay, all right. There's no time for this slander on my podcast. No.
Rock is just much better than everyone else. Anyways.
That's the pod. Thanks, Scott, for coming on. We'll do this again soon. We got a bunch of content coming out, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. Thanks very much for listening. Peace out.